How long did it take to make that bone temple in the background?
Oh, not long. I just literally pulled up an image and just put it and posted it on the background in OBS. Don't worry. It's just
Oh,
it's just that,
I would have thought it taking you like 13 years or something.
oh, well, no. Sorry.
Huh.
Sorry,
I
Nick.
guess AI really is taking the jobs of people.
Are you saying AI is gonna take Dr. Kelson's job, Nick?
Well, someone's got to, but that's considering things happen in the next movie. But like, we haven't gotten to that yet.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, anyways, it is currently 7:20 p.m., February 28th, the last day
The
of the
last
month.
day of the marathon, yeah.
Last day of February, Nick. Last day of the month, and we finally get to watch, well, at the time when we came up with this marathon, the most recent 28 movie that was available to watch on home release. And then when during the marathon, right? All of a sudden, oh wow, Bone Temple's now available as well.
Yeah.
So if we knew ahead of time, we could have actually ended this month off with Bone Temple. But well,
We didn't.
we didn't.
We're not smart like that.
No, unfortunately not. But hey, you know what? 28 years later, though, the first of the 28 years movies,
A good way to end this marathon.
it is a good way to end this marathon because it's a good movie. It's a good movie, man. Like we spent like 30 something minutes last night talking about 28 weeks later, and like the whole thing was we kind of just came to a conclusion, like, 28 weeks later, it's an alright movie, but like as a sequel, it's got a lot of problems. But this definitely is.
Definitely, this is definitely the sequel to the
Yeah,
28 Days Later.
this is a very, very much a better sequel to the original 28 Days Later. Uh,
And yet, somehow, like a completely different beast than you would expect.
yeah, I still think overall 28 Days Later is the better film, but
Yeah.
here's my thing, especially after recently with Bone Temple coming out. 28 years later on its own is a good sequel, but I don't think it's as good as the original 28 Days Later movie because at the end of the day, this is an incomplete story.
Yeah.
So, like if you include 28 years later and Bone Temple and the upcoming third movie, which I know they did greenlit, they're gonna make a third 28 years later movie because the Bone Temple ended off
Yay.
with like clearly setting up a sequel. So if whatever like any other 28 years later stuff comes out, that's gonna be like its own whole story, and I feel like I feel like that's the one thing that does kind of hold this specific movie back. That this is only
Yeah.
one part of a bigger story. So you really kind of have to judge it more on like the entire story as a whole than anything else. So because that's like again that's like the one thing that holds this movie back in particular. But still, it is it's a better sequel than Weeks Later, that's for sure. Because and it is funny because like 28 weeks later was trying to it's interesting because we said like how 28 weeks later feels kind of very generic for like as both as like a sequel and like as like a zombie film, right? But it's also at the same time trying very hard to like recapture like like what made people like 28 days later, but not really successfully doing so.
Yeah.
But what's interesting here is this is a better sequel with 28 years later, and sure, like it's got things that we like about 28 days later, but like I think what makes this better, honestly, is the fact that they're just trying to do their own thing. Like it just
This
this
is
is.
the most
Mhm.
this is the most zombie movie we have.
But no, but like it's fine though. It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, because weeks later, 28 weeks later was very much like, okay, we need like, like, we want a sequel to 28 Days Later, but we want to, like, recapture, like, oh man, like, oh, the zombie hordes are coming at you, ah. But then what's interesting is 28 years later, this movie, as well as Bone Temple, is they're very much trying to tell their own kind of self-contained story, but try also at the same time, this story is a lens to explore. Honestly, like, just like have a fun playground to explore what it would be like in a world after the initial outbreak. It,
Yeah.
it's actually funny because this movie honestly just ignores a lot about 28 weeks later. Like, that's something we did talk about actually last night, that we kind of said that weeks later kind of feels a little bit inconsequential in the long run of things, because like 28 years later is very much just kind of going off like, okay, you know what? Hey, zombies, took over the UK, right? Now, 28 years later, let's see what we can do. Let's have fun with it. Let's see what we could do in this, cool new world. And
Yeah.
it's really cool. Uh, oh my gosh, I I do want to say that I was telling you this earlier, Nick. That what's really cool about 28 years later, it is, so on one hand, I still stand by it that the one thing that does hold this movie back is it's an incomplete story, because it's only one part of the story, and that, but what you do get is still really fun and really good. But like, it definitely is a movie where after watching Bone Temple, you look back and you're able to like, some stuff is kind of recontextualized in the sense that, like, now you're starting to see the bigger picture now, and now you can look back at like the first piece and how that ties over to the next movie, and how the next movie also then, again, recontextualizes things in this movie, and it's really fun, like how especially with Bone Temple, like we're seeing like the bigger story of the main character Spike's growth as this like really fun coming of age story. Because I was saying how it's really fun how, especially after Bone Temple. Ooh, excuse me, I am gassy. Gosh, I drank like 3 cans of Diet Coke already. But what's really fun is how, was especially after Bone Temple, like, you're seeing how these stories set up like Spike learning more about himself, as well as learning about the world through like kind of different mentor characters interchanging throughout these films. Like his his not so great dad, Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, right? Very much is like teaching Spike how to survive in this world. And then Kelson, and then after meeting Dr. Kelson, is very much, Spike learning about, accepting death in this world. Sometimes people are going to eventually die. He has to accept that death is going to happen, but also to still hold on to, the love he had for the people that die. And then how, obviously, we're good, in the next movie, Bone Temple, like with Jimmy, right? He learns about the evils of the world. Not just, like, ooh, infected people, like actual, like, evil evil people that are not infected, and how that's cool. And I was saying how, like, maybe in the next movie that are coming out, because we know Jim's gonna be in that movie. Like, it'll be fun to see, like, maybe like with Jim, Spike's gonna learn about, like, like holding on to compassion for people in this, cruel world that has, come to be. Is really fun, man. Is really cool. So, again, like, the overall bigger story being told through these 28 years later movies is really fun. But at the same time, what does kind of make judging the individual 28 years later's movies a little bit hard is the fact that they're only telling one piece of a bigger story. So, like, as
Yeah.
and because of that, as individual movies, I do think they're not going to be as good as 28 Days Later because Days Later is its own complete story. But like maybe like if we judge the whole bigger picture as a whole, we can have a really cool story that maybe possibly could be better than 28 Days Later, you know? So it's really fun, man. I really like this movie, man. Uh, I, and I do want to say I know we're not talking about Bone Temple, Nick, but like Bone Temple is on my mind, besides, it is because again, watching this movie after watching Bone Temple is fun to see how those two movies interact. One thing I will say is I kind of miss the cinematography here in Bone Temple because Bone Temple had a different director to Danny Boyle. Uh,
Yeah.
because like the cinematography here gets really weird, I guess, like almost dreamlike. Cause
Yeah.
it's actually that's a good way to describe like very dreamlike, like especially how Spike is like when he does have like this like kind of like dream ish sequences going on, and like just overall the whole movie just feels really different. Like you got like I was telling you how how this movie was filmed. They had like a bunch of different like iPhone cameras, like a bunch of like different iPhones, all hooked up on like just like some kind of like just like weird like jerry rig sort of thing, and that's how they were able to film the whole movie. And it's really cool how because of this they're able to like like sort of recapture a similar like handheld feeling you got from like 28 Days Later, and it's really cool how in a sense it does in a weird way kind of recapture like that like almost I which I don't know about indie, but again like kind of like that handheld ish sort of feel 28 Days Later had, and I do kind of miss that in Bone Temple. I won't lie. Uh, it also another fun behind the scenes fact. So if anyone watches Bone Temple, oh, and also 28 years later, this movie, uh, yeah, these zombies got their thing just hanging out, man. It's just hanging out there, all wide in the open, just whoa, 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 whoa. Like my, our boy Samson, Nick the Alpha, he's big,
Yeah.
and I do mean that
And we're
both.
not talking about his body.
Well, okay, his body is pretty big as well, but
Yeah.
yeah, what's down there is pretty big. But what's really funny is that like like UK law, I think it was like UK laws or just like laws in Europe wherever they filmed was like pretty much like, hey, you can't actually have the people being filmed naked in front of a child, because that would be like essentially violating several laws, because that's indecent exposure, especially in front of a child, like that raises all sorts of
Yeah.
ethical questions and stuff. But what's really kind of funny is how they got around that is just, okay, we can't show like an actual penis in front of a child, so we'll have a prosthetic instead. We'll have the actors wear prosthetics of, of hold on, give me 1 second.
Uh, gosh, I love loopholes, man. Genghis? Change you muted on my end.
Sorry about that. Uh, privacy. I don't know. I've said this many times, but privacy doesn't exist in this household, even if you have a lock.
Ah.
Yeah. So, to be fair, probably shouldn't be talking about fake penises. just saying. You know, like when you're trying to talk about a movie and then you mention fake prosthetic genitalia, all of a sudden, then it's gonna raise some questions, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, point is, it's funny how they're able to like get around certain laws. So, uh, so there's that. Uh, Anyways, though this is honestly though a good this this is honestly a sign though that we do kind of have to wrap things up with this video though, because we are a little bit pressed on time. But
Yeah.
but like overall though, right? Like 20 years later, man, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's
Great way to end this marathon.
it's great. So I'm not gonna lie, man. I really do want to do. I really want to watch Bone Temple tomorrow, and I want to make a video about it, man. Because I'm not gonna lie, Bone Temple's just also really good, man. Like, ah, but yeah, so, but with this movie, this technically marks the end of our little zombie movie marathon, man. And I'm not gonna lie though, man. I really enjoyed this whole like marathon thing we did tonight. This whole month, man.
Yeah.
This is really fun. We honestly should do more like just like marathon things, man. It's really fun. Uh, which, not gonna lie, it's gonna actually probably be sooner than later, because uh Oscars is coming up, and I do want to watch all the Best Picture stuff with you
Oh
guys.
yeah, that's right. I forgot
So
they were doing that.
yeah, so the next little marathon thing probably is gonna be coming up sooner than later. So, but hey, that does mean I get to watch Sinners again. So there's that, and then maybe we could watch Sinners again later if we do that vampire marathon thing we were talking about. And that'd be fun, like a whole marathon of vampire
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
That'd be great. We could finally watch the Twilight movies, man. we could see a werewolf imprint on a baby.
Gosh, what was that woman thinking?
I don't know, man. But you know what? This just shows that zombie movies are better than vampire movies. but yeah. But yeah, with this said though, this is technically the end of 28 movies later. 28 days of zombie movies, man. Gotta say, it's been really fun. Also, go watch Bone Temple. That's just watch. I say watch all the 28 movies. Even I will even give Weeks credit where it's due. I feel like you should still check out Weeks, just so you know what the deal is with that movie. But 28 days, and the 28 years movies, yeah, they're good. And zombie movies are just fun in general. So, but yeah, thank you everyone whoever was watching these little videos who stuck around to hear us ramble about zombie movies, because I think zombies are pretty cool, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.